Okay, welcome to our sprint closure. Thanks for everybody's hard work this week. Green means that the sprint objective was met. Grey is the task was either removed from the sprint or not achieved, and red is at risk.
So the big thing that was done is the contract on the front end. I say big because it's something we can see, but actually a lot of work was done on the back end. We finished the contract. Next week, we'll probably do a pass to do a couple of things with the back end. Also, cosmetics had one for the UI mostly. So this is a screenshot from Antonio, made in Unity. What is cool here is that basically everything is working. So you can select the different missions. You get progress for real, the milestone, you can progress for real. All the rewards that are shown here is the data from Exol that is going to MetaPlay, that is then going to the client. You can collect, and yeah, that's it. So everything is plugged. We just need to do DL2 then on this one. So very cool. That's it for Meta.
Okay, for core, this sprint in the end have been mostly about stabilizing the game and making the quantum version playable, and so that we are able to test with people from outside the company also with this build, and making sure that there were nothing major. And I think we got just now like a very good play session where nothing big emerged. So that was great. It had to be done. I think it had to do with the fact that we've been working for a long time in the quantum version, like for 6 months, and did a lot of features and very little testing. So eventually we had to go through all that. So that made like some of the things we were planning to do in the sprint originally were dropped. But we started with Snowbird and River, and were able to put some UI that Roger did last moment in the sprint. And then we experimented a bit with the duo chess, so we can go to the next slide and see Roger shop UIs. This is like the best we're going to show here, I think, because we have no assets otherwise. So we're updating this, all the UI for elements in game, and there's more to come. And then if you see in the next slide, there's a few more, or below emote also, and yeah, we'll be seeing that in game in the next versions. And then I'm picking our versions. I don't know if this is going to be super boring. Probably, I know you guys are probably not fascinated about the topic of versioning things and stuff. I want to explain roughly how this stabilization process went in the game, and how do you achieve that when you have like people merging things in the repository constantly. How do you get it to work? So there's this versioning thing. I think it's familiar for more or less everyone. It's called semantic versioning, but it's nothing else than a major, minor, and a build version. This is what we are using in our game, as you probably have already seen. So we can, anytime we want, we can change the major or minor version, and then build versions get updated automatically with every new build. So I think that's pretty simple. So then here is what I wanted to show you guys is like how this is our regular development workflow. So anyone that is working with Unity and Git is familiar with this, where we develop features in branches and then get them merged into main. And then it's not that we are bad persons or anything. It's like statistically, with every few features you do, it's like we are going to be introducing some bugs here and there. So by definition, the tip of main is going to be unstable. It's going to have bugs because there are new features that aren't still validated or debugged. So we're trying to get the game stable in main, and it was quite difficult because we hadn't like merged features from everywhere. So what we did is like we created a release branch, which is like a way. This is more or less a plan for future branches as well, or future releases. Is we create this release branch, and then what we put in that release branch is only bug fixes. It's like the goal of the branch is to get the build stable there and just stabilizing things. So no new features. It means like no new animations, no new VFX, no new characters or anything new. It's just about what you have, get it like close, like no bugs, and ready to ship basically. So this was this 01 branch. We worked for a couple of weeks into this, and then I think we got a very stable version today. And then to wrap it up. I don't want to take all the afternoon with this. So this development won't stop. It's like the full picture, and this can look a bit more complicated, but it's like what happens while this release branch is going on and the stabilization process is happening in this release branch. What happens is that people can still work on the main branch, developing features that are going to be ready for the next version that we do. So what happened during this couple of weeks is exactly this. We've been working on 0.1, making it stable, fixing things, testing, fixing, testing, fixing, and then now it's ready to be shipped to our little community for now. And in the meantime, we had the new characters, new animations, new VFX, and because all that is potentially unstable, that was merged into main. So at some point, we're going to do the same with the version 0.2. We will create another branch 0.2, and we'll make it stable and publish again, and etc. It's like a cycle that won't stop. It can be loop like forever. This is like an ongoing process, but it's a well-known, established, proven concept for branching and deploying software. So yeah, I think that's it. But if you guys had later any question, I can take it offline. Oh, I wanted to end this with to end with a more fun note. The work in progress river, it has this ultimate where it will switch its main weapon from a long range gun to something like what the Atapus, like a sword. It's still in progress, no animations or assets, but yeah, just so you guys see that there's been some progress there.
So as you see, the most tasks again. So we have just a couple of tasks that were not done, but will be done in the next sprint. For concept, we have Jack that is approved and is already in progress for the blocking. So Dean is working on it. Later we have a file, we have a picture to see. This is the brand new character that is the tank that we have. Is albino gorilla, and this big guy will be done from next week from Antonio. Antonio will take care of it. So he's inspired to the albino gorilla of Barcelona, of course. Next slide. It is finished. As you see, is one of one character. Is very cool. I think that is the level.
This is the poly. It's not the final.
It's more or less the final. So we have the blocking done for Reaper. And very good jump from Alto that did was pretty fast to do it. So the weapons also are done, but I don't show it because we show also last week. There is the blocking. The next one is for Jack, but is the first version. The feedback here, but it's so we need to get feedback, but it's the blue. Next one, this is the rig of Atapus. I like when he moved the head. This is the first animation. That is the idle, so it's the aggressive posture of Atapus. Looks pretty good. And now we have a bunch of animation for the penguin. This is the idle animation, this is the attack animation, this is the run frontal and back and left and right. This is the lowered. So we are thinking, well, of course with the VFX will be even better. So it's like this ball, like inflating. Next one, I love this one. It's the snowbird rank. This is the VFX of Maya. Is the attack from Alex. Looks pretty cool. And the next one, the last, this one is the ultimate.
It's a sprint on the environment. We have been working on the desert for the next biome and trying to get closer to the final visual style that we want to develop, and also finishing some of the tools that we will use for all the procedural stuff and making it easier to dress the levels. So you can go to the next slide. Here are some examples of the work that we are doing for the desert. You can go to the next two ones that are almost the same. So the idea is using different materials that are only on the desert related to the lore and so on. So on the next slide, we have one of the levels that we are doing the dressing. So now we are doing a bit more platforms, having empty space to add some depth. Here it looks a little blurry because of the effect, but it doesn't look in the game like this. Next slide looks a bit more like this. We're still working on finishing the details and so on. If you go to the next slide, you can see a GIF with the animation of the line in the side and so on. And the next slide have some examples of the advertisement that we want to add everywhere, especially into the urban. And on the content creation, on this last sprint, we finally managed to add the build on Steam. Right now, we already have the build playable from Steam directly. We will send the keys to everybody, so you can directly go to Steam, use the key. You will not have to download any build anymore. It will be automatically updated on Steam. Also, we are still working on the trailer, and we have been doing the playtest. That's the last playtest. We have people enough to do 2 groups in parallel. Next Monday, we expect to have also a lot of people, and we are gathering a lot of feedback. We don't have feedback enough to start taking decisions, but I expect for the next sprint we will have, and we will start to get specific things to fix. If you go to next slide, this is how the Steam shop looks right now. The next slide, this is an stream that Quintasia is doing streams making character designs, and also we did a survey about this character. Obviously the option C won. It's not a surprise because you already saw the final sketch. And the next slide is all the materials that we are doing a video that we will show a lot of the material from the character. We will keep working on more videos and more stuff in social media. So that's it.
Cool. Thanks for sharing and for everybody's hard work.